Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm super excited about this conversation today because I have a long-standing friend in Rafiq Somani attending this podcast of Sales Diaries with me. Rafiq is the country manager and the area vice president for Ansys Canada. This is not his only introduction. He has led Ansys to multiple transformational wins in India, ASEAN, uh, New Zealand, Australia, Middle East, and this is his latest assignment. I have known him for a long time, and his industry knows him for being the transformational agent that he has been. Rafiq, super excited to have you here, sir. Thank you for joining me in this conversation. I think this is one of those conversations that I personally was looking forward to for a long time. I'll begin my first question with you have been a long standing follower of the philosophy. One, what is it? And second, what has been the impact of that philosophy on your life and career overall?
First of all, Bhavani, thank you very much for inviting, and you were kind in your introduction. But it is my pleasure too, and happy to share some best practices. I think as all Indians, we are very, very blessed to have a very, very rich history. And if I go back of one of my best learnings or my mantras for success is a lot of the wisdom I've gained from, say, our texts like Bhagavad Gita or you spoke about Vedanta philosophy. One of my favorite concept over there is Vasudeva Kutumbakam, correct? That the world
Yeah,
is one family.
yeah,
And again, like you can apply some of these principles directly into your not only your personal life but your professional life also, like how you deal with people, how you deal with customer, how you deal with your colleagues, peers. Yes, and sometimes when I'm at a crossroad, there might be a lot of short-term decisions which we may be eager to take. But again, going back to the Indian philosophies in Bhagavad Gita or Vedanta philosophy, you take a step back, think through it, and you do think which is right in the long term interest of everybody. Maybe immediately somebody may not appreciate what you are doing or what decision you're taking, but in long run, if you've thought through that, it always stands true. And believe me, it has always worked for me. So
yeah.
I feel I'm very, very blessed to be born in a country where there is a lot of history and such a great wisdom is there. So I always try to dig into it whenever I'm at a crossroad. Yeah.
Perfect. Now, I understand what you believe in. I want to understand what makes you so successful. What has been your success mantra? Why do you have and how do you have that golden touch that you transformed one country after another and you were the key figure in all these transformations that happened for Ansys? What was it that you do differently? What is so different personally about you that you feel?
I think a good question. I feel a lot of times, the superpower or mantra has to be very simple, correct? You can always say, "Oh, I'm very hardworking, very persistent, and I'm a go-getter." That is given. And when you're working for a world-class company and working with some great customers and great colleagues and peer, you have to be good as a benchmark. But I think I when you speak about mantra, I think my philosophy, going back to your first question, is very simple. Correct? I'm a very authentic person because I feel that we are all part of one family. It is just not a region or a country, the entire universe. Correct? We are blessed to be born as human, and we might be the only living species around the in the entire space and universe. Of course, time will tell. But if you think like in our uh, known universe, we are unique. So in that sense, if you have got this opportunity to live this world and come in this life. I think we have to look at a much bigger picture than I, me, myself. I genuinely want my team, my customers, my partners, my company, whichever country I work for, whichever region I work for, to be successful and add value. I don't take my job as a 8 to 5 job or 9 to 6 job. I feel it's a opportunity to serve. Correct. If there are 8 billion people in the world, and if Ansys has given me this responsibility, I feel very very responsible for what is that I can give back to my company, my team, which is with me, my partners, my customer. I feel, and with humility, I would like to say, even after a few years, I'll be very happy if some of the rep comes and say, "Hey, Rafiq, here is my vacation home key. You keep one copy with you, or this is a new car. Bought, please take a swing, a ride on it,
Yeah,
or you know."
yeah.
So I think that feeling.
I can relate to that. Sometime back, one of my employees bought a house, and somebody
Oh,
else bought
wow.
a car, and I was just so thrilled about their success.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Uh,
the biggest feeling that you can get.
Absolutely, absolutely, Bhavani, you were so right. Like I think, end of the day, what your commission you are earning or what material things you have is the thing. It will not give you permanent happiness, but the feelings and the joy you get seeing other people successful who have worked for you, and a lot of the people I was blessed to work with. I have always got very smart people to work with, and see them successful, even if they become my competitors and lead those companies. I have a sense of pride. Yeah.
Right. So we've talked about what makes you so successful. I want to talk about, is there a is there a screw up in your life that you remember with a deal?
Okay,
Tell the
there'll be
story.
many,
Give us
many.
give us one
Uh,
story. Give us one story
okay.
from your early years where you screwed up on a deal.
Okay, I think each mess up. Let
Yeah.
me use the more authentic, better word.
Yeah.
Each mess up in a customer place, especially when I was young.
Yeah.
I have converted that into a big lesson. Correct. And I think you asked me this question randomly and put me on a
Yeah.
wall. But let me the one deal which come up to my mind. I will not name the company. Was
Yeah.
a very very big multi-diverse company. First, let me talk about the lesson
Yes.
that I think there are two lessons I learned from that deal. Was win early, lose early.
Yeah.
Meaning you must have heard about this concept: win early meaning lose early. If you don't, kind of, sometimes the sales guys get so passionate about a customer or a technology or a division of people just because they entertain give you, that
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
invest a lot of their time, and end of 6 months or a year they say there is no deal. Correct. So win early, lose early. So I had this deal. Funnily, my company had got into developing a product for that particular industry, and that product was in a beta stage, and I got so excited about the beta stage, beta version of that software, investing I think more than 50% of my time of my year or
Yeah.
into and believe me, that was 1 year I missed my number because the end of the
Because you
day
were waiting for that one big deal to close.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you were confident that if this deal
Uh,
closes, I'm going to make my numbers.
no, I think not that way. I think I just kind of got obsessed.
Yeah.
Sales guys get obsessed with some technology or a track or a customer. I that's why I tell my reps, win early, lose early. If there is no opportunity, don't waste your time because you're losing an opportunity on some other customer place. So sometimes just because the customer is giving you a meeting and offering you tea, coffee, or that customer is friendly with you, you end up, he may be just a coach and spending wasting your time, and actually he may not have a budget or he may not be the right person. So I think the message and learning is that, and I think we have to see end of the day whether your product or company will really add value to that. This is my in my 33 years, if I have 1 year I have not made my number, it is that year. So I will never forget that deal.
Very
Yeah.
humble of you to share it with us, and I cannot agree more with the lesson that you talked about.
Yeah.
I have seen people. I work with at least 1,000 sales reps every year,
Yeah.
and I see a ton of them getting obsessed about one deal, where either they're not in touch with enough number of people that they're talking to, or
Absolutely.
they choose one Spock and they
Yeah.
just let the whole energy fuel into that one relationship.
Absolutely.
This guy acts as a gatekeeper, neither
Absolutely.
pushes forward nor says no to them. They don't close it, they don't
Yeah.
take it out of the funnel. It just stays there forever.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know what you're saying here. Yeah.
Yeah, and everything you said, Bhavani, I think whatever best practice I've learned today is just from that deal. I did everything wrong in that deal, correct? Including not mapping the entire organization, what is the power base, who are the right decision makers, who are the outside fox or consultant outside this organization, because I just kept working with few coaches who used to just give me a meeting. And you're right. I think, I actually, in a way, I thank myself for losing that deal and missing my number that year. Yeah.
You interview a ton of people. What is that thing that you consistently look for in
Yeah.
every sales interview that you do? I understand there are things that we ignore, that if this is not there, I can live with it. But
Yeah.
is there a checklist, one, two, three things that you feel that every sales rep must have, or it's a no show for you, it's a no go for you?
Yeah. I think, Bhavani, great question. I think, it's a very fundamental point, correct? For a sales leader or somebody like me, or when I coach my sales leader, I always tell them first is you are as good as your people you hire, correct? You should always hire a people who's better than you, or at least as good as you or better than you. Because if you're hiring smart people, then you don't have to tell them what to do. You can then work on the next step. So that's point number one. I think the other point, when I interview a lot of candidates, I should be grateful. I'm saying this with humility. You can see through while doing the interview, correct? That there is a skill and there is a will. Skills can be taught, like you
Yeah.
can teach them challenger sales, power based selling, spin selling, solution selling, and all that. Skills can be taught. You can take them to the field, but the will, what is that person made of? So based on this, I think I'm never worried about skill, because I always tell my sales leaders that recruitment, recruit, because people either get fired, people get promoted, or people leave. So like the pipeline for customer, you should always have a pipeline for good quality sales reps. So you should not be recruiting when you lose a headcount or you get a
Yeah.
headcount. Your pipeline should be always ready. I'm at the airport, I'm at the customer lobby, I'm meeting and interviewing all the time sales rep. I go to event, I go to conference, I'm always recruiting. And I always have a great funnel. The first thing I look in a person is there a fire in his belly, correct?
Hmm.
Does he has does he has some purpose in his life, or does he has something in him that he can be molded or coached? So I don't mind taking a fresh raw person, but if he has got fire and passion in himself, I think skilling him is the very easy part. And naturally, the second important thing I've learned this lesson, especially, and I should thank myself working in US multinational for most of my career out of 30 years, and compliance and ethic is very very important. So ethics and integrity of the person
Hmm.
is very very important and fundamental to me. I think I have zero tolerance on that. And then this attitude to unlearn and relearn, because technology is such a big disruptor that no sales rep while coming in interview say I know it all, I've done it all. Hey, sorry, you're not in the next round, correct? So I think I look for people who are always curious, who are always odd, to learn and unlearn. I think that is very important. And then just the regular, the communication skill and the other, how are you presentable or not? All those are the standard. Again,
Yeah.
I'm talking about when you want to hire a real talent. I look for some of these soft skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, skill and will, ethics, ability to learn and unlearn, and you look for ambition, the fire in
Yeah,
someone.
fair enough, really. Yeah.
These are some things which are absolutely critical for you when you hire a sales rep.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. My next question is about this is what you look for. Now, a lot of salespeople, Rafiq, often talk about, and you and me have heard this almost our entire lives, that B2B selling is based on relationships. You build relationships.
Yeah.
Now, the idea of relationships is very cloudy. A lot of people feel now, probably it was different in the early 90s. It was different how relationships were made and maintained in the 2000s. We are in 2024. Now,
Yeah.
sending a Christmas card or a Diwali gift probably no longer cuts it in terms of building a relationship. And
Yeah.
so, what does it mean for you when you talk about relationships? What does that mean to you from a sales context with you, your customers, your prospects?
It's again a great question. It's something very close to my heart. First of all, I would say, as you rightly indicated, relationship building in a customer account to be successful is overrated. I think times have changed, and leave that. I think you have to know how to build relationship. That is fundamental. I think that's not the complex environment which we are living in today's world, and disruption happening all the time, always. The customer himself is looking, what am I doing next, correct? How do I survive myself and continue to grow and be profitable? So I think he's not happy if you're just selling him or sending him a Christmas card. When you're meeting a customer, you have an opportunity, you have a prospect. What is the discovery mode? When I say discovery mode is, when you meet the customer, what are the business challenges and issues you're trying to solve the customer. Remember Ganesh
Yes.
God has two long ears and one mouth. The sales guy is always ready to sell first. And I had so many meetings where the sales guy and AE will be ready with 60 slides for a 60 minutes meeting. And I say, hey, keep it that aside. First, let's listen to the customer. So I think I think
I
when
think this is the key, and I agree with you. It's not about bending 90 degrees and wishing them or sending them cards. No, you have to be in the shoes and make sure that you help them get successful, and that is the
yeah
secret of a meaningful long-term relationship.
yeah
But if you don't listen at all, you will never know what are their aspirations that you want to cater to.
But the next thing is, relationship is not enough. I would say, if you're confident of yourself, you've done the homework about customer, and not just about customer, but you've done the your homework of the marketplace where the customer is, who are the customer competition. And if you've done all that homework and you know what is the trend, what is the best practice, what are the metric, you have great stories, metric you have for other successful companies, which this company is trying to benchmark itself from X company. If you have all that story, I typically coach my strategic sales guys to kind of go into a constructive, challenge the customer when they are maintaining a status quo, correct? And kind of bring a new, fresh perspective and new dimension of what they are doing is wrong. Maybe, for example, say I'm in a simulation industry and the customer is doing a traditional way of making a lot of prototypes.
Hmm.
And then I have to tell the customer, no, Mr. Customer, I've done some homework. You're doing so much of prototype, and there's a cost and time for it, and kind of look at XYZ company, which is a benchmark company for you. They are doing all virtual prototyping, and they believe in the concept of first time right, and hence they are early into the market, and even they can corner cases they can resolve using simulation technology, whereas in traditional prototyping. So I think what I'm trying to say is, once is the discovery, relationship, understanding the customer business challenges, pain, and offering unique solution. You need to sometimes challenge sometimes the customer status quo, kind of bring in some fresh perspective, and have enough confidence in you to tell the customer that, Mr. Customer, your way is not the right way. You must have done your homework very well. So the point I'm trying to say, I think I'm trying to tell a concept of level 4 of selling, which is like being a trusted advisor to a
And I would
customer,
love to
where
hear that.
where the customer just believes, agrees with a new fresh perspective and dimension you bring. I think that is for me best level of selling. A relationship is done and it's overrated. Yeah.
I cannot agree more. I mean, in uh, with all the CEOs and the senior leaders that I have worked with, one thing that I have learned over the years is that no senior leader wants a yes man into their cabins.
Absolutely,
That
absolutely.
that adds zero value to them, to
Yeah,
their business.
yeah, absolutely,
Or if you are a true blue consultant and an advisor to your prospect, to your customer, and
absolutely.
that advice, that same advice can help them save dollars or make dollars,
Yeah,
then you will always be cherished. I want to pick up your thoughts on key account management a little bit. Very often, I talk about new logo acquisition to a lot of
yeah,
people in this podcast. But today and this year, somehow we are working a lot with some Fortune 500 companies and
yeah,
uh, helping their accounts team develop and penetrate and upsell and cross sell. And this
yeah.
year seems to be the theme for us and some of our clients in the direction of developing strategic accounts. I want to touch upon this part. What are your thoughts? What is your methodology? What is that advice that you'll give to all the account managers out there who are managing large relationships, how to upsell, cross sell, grow their existing accounts?
First of all, the basic fundamental sales hygiene is this: the account rep should have an account plan, correct? Yeah, so it begins with that, correct? You can't say I know it, and we are selling into strategic accounts. You're collaborating with multiple of your team members, correct? The technical, the consulting team, and the sales admin, and everybody, correct? Your leaders, your manager, your CEO. So I think first of all, very natural thing is to have an account plan. But again, what should the account plan have? The account plan should not have the part of the division or department which you are going day to day, and you are friendly with
Yeah,
one guy
yeah.
in that department and division, and you just kind of let me just kind of tell a kind of a phrase. Are you fulfilling a service request by the user, or you are generating a demand from the top level, correct? When you do big deals, you might be a big company and they may need a lot of your licenses, and they ask for a quotation. You still can do a big deal, it's a renewal deal, and you say, oh, I did a big deal, but
Exactly. Yeah,
you
yeah,
you
yeah.
just submitting a quotation and picking up something which multiple sales guys have worked for that account, and
There is
that
a
customer
difference.
is.
There is a difference between picking up an order and
Yeah,
pitching a deal grounds up.
yeah, I think I call it as fulfilling a service
Yes.
request, and creating new demand, correct? New pipeline from the top level and a very strategic way, correct? So so just the rep need not be having the org chart or the people he's in touch with that one department. But I think today, you are kind of selling at the enterprise level. So which are the other different divisions the companies have got, correct? Are you talking to the VP sales and marketing? Are you talking to manufacturing? Are you talking to HR? Are you helping that company with recruitment, development, and training and retaining people? Tie up with some universities. Meaning, it is just not in traditional CAD PLM world where we sell. We just talk to the engineering department and some set of people, but the actual opportunity may lie somewhere else. So I think mapping the entire account, who are the key stakeholders, who's in the power base, who's influential, who's got the new project, who's got the big budget. That is something which we have to white spacing the entire account, and then then I think becoming the low hanging fruit. You can't just go into an account all across suddenly overnight and say, hey, I've got the account plan, I know everything, white space and all, and boom. No, I think you need to pick up people, division, departments, which you'll map first, and I think step by step, keeping all the stakeholders engaged and kind of without kind of rubbing feathers with some people who may not like you going up or sideways, covering all that. That relationship of course helps, and then going to the right guy at the top, or your champion should take you to the top. I would, in a very simple way, say that's a simple effective recipe of constructing a large deal. Yeah, not just going to the department and fulfilling a service request, yeah, and getting a big renewal order. Yeah,
Undoubtedly, I mean, the most basic for every account manager is to expand the relationship coverage and continuously expand your executive sponsorship.
yeah.
So, undoubtedly, thank you so much, Rafiq. This has been so much fun talking to you. Uh, One last thing before you go. What's next for you?
If you ask me, Rafiq, you don't go work today. I'll be going in the jungle and
Ah,
will be with my birds. I've been my friends have been teasing me that I always say I want to retire early and go in jungle. But I think the excitement and the opportunity to touch people's life keeps me excited. Very honestly, I like to live a balanced life, so I enjoy what I do professionally. As long as I can mentor people, make them successful, and I get some time for my time with the nature and with my birds, and the weather over here is good, so I've got back into running. So I am happy. Yeah, yeah,
that is terrific. So, thank you so much again, Rafiq. This has
yeah.
been an enlightening experience talking to you. I wish we could do this more. And I wish you well. I wish you a rocking year ahead, and
Thank
I
you very
hope
much.
you're settled and safe in your new home, away from home.
Yeah.
Thank you so much again for coming on.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. It has been pleasure. Yeah, and sharing some of the experience. Yeah, I'm grateful and I feel blessed all the time working with great people. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah,
Thank you.
bye bye.